Hello friends, it's Kristie Marcotte. In today's video, I'll be using a stamp set designed by myself. This is exclusive to Not Too Shabby's Autumn Greetings Retreat. If you purchase the retreat kit, this stamp set is one of the fun goodies included. The stamp set is called Kristie's Everyday Greetings. I use general sentiments all the time, so I wanted a stamp set that included a nice variety of different sentiments. Along with the general sentiments, there's also birthday, sympathy, thank you, love sentiments. It's a great set to have on your desk all year round. As I mentioned, my stamp set is exclusive to Not Too Shabby's Autumn Greetings Retreat. I do have a link in the description box below, and if you use my discount code Kristie10, you can save 10% at Not Too Shabby. For images on my cards, I'm using the Washi Tape Shop's Frosty Rose Washi Tape. And for pattern paper, I pulled out an old retired collection from Tonic Studios. It's called Blue Blossom. The washi tape colors match beautifully with this pattern paper, so I thought it would be perfect to finally pull that out and use it up. If you're interested in products at the Washi Tape Shop, I also have a discount code for them. Use my code KristieM10 to save 10% off your order. And I will have links for products that are available in the description box below. I have 4 different card designs to share with you, and I am using card sketches for all the different designs. If you're interested in the sketches, I have a link to my website listed below, or you can simply head over to KristieMarcotte.com. For card design number 1, the sketch is from Freshly Made Sketches. This is number 744. I decided for this card I would stamp one of the sentiments directly onto the pattern paper. Used Thinking of You. The ink color is from Catherine Pooler. It's the Juniper Mist color. The image I'm selecting for this card will be 3 different foliage pieces. I'll use this blue piece that looks like a feather, and then the thistles. This roll that I'm using is washi tape, so it's paper tape, but it's also available in the PET tape, which is a clear plastic tape. And I'll add one more of these little small blue leaf pieces, add that on the right side. That way I've filled in the image panel. If I just had one, it would look kind of empty. I'll put adhesive on the back, add the image panel on the polka dot pattern paper that has the sentiment Thinking of You. Now I'll layer this piece on some dark blue cardstock. And the blue cardstock piece is an additional 1/8 of an inch. It's 2 1/4 of an inch by 3 3/8 of an inch. For the background of my card, I selected the blue tone-on-tone stripe paper, and I cut it a little bit smaller than what's indicated on the card sketch. It's 3 7/8 of an inch by 5 1/8 of an inch. For that narrow 1/8 inch strip that goes across the card, I decided to use a Love from Lizi peel-off. This is the straight style in white. To help get it on nice and straight, I'm using the grid lines on my craft mat. I'll wrap the left end around the back, layer this piece on the same dark blue cardstock, and that cardstock piece is 4 1/8 of an inch by 5 3/8 of an inch. Now I'll flip over this piece, put more adhesive on the back, and add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. All of my cards in this video are American Standard A2 size, 4 1/4 inches by 5 1/2 inches. Next, I'll add the image with sentiment panel on the left side. And if you want to add some dimension, that is an option. I decided to keep this whole set of cards nice and flat since I'll be donating them to a local organization. and I don't want them to have to pay any additional postage to mail them. For embellishments, I'm using more Love from Lizi peel-offs. This is the mini circle style in white. I'll add 3 in the upper right-hand corner and 2 in the lower left-hand corner. So there is my finished card, and I ended up making 5 using this design, and each card features different washi tape images. And I think with this set, since it's not super florally, it would work for masculine or feminine cards. For card design number 2, the card sketch is from Cards TV. This is sketch number 82. For the background of my card, I'm using this light tone-on-tone sort of mauve color. For the strip that goes across the card, this is the blue tone-on-tone polka dot. To add a little bit of separation and contrast between the two pattern papers, I'm putting a Love from Lizi peel-off along the edge of the polka dot paper. This is the pinstripe style in white, and I'm using the narrowest width. Since I'll be adding an image on the left side, I'm able to use some of the scrap pieces, and I'll leave a little gap area. Although I didn't have enough of the narrowest width scrap, so I did have to grab a full strip. I usually cut the peel-offs just a little bit longer than the panel. That way I can wrap the ends around the back. I'll put adhesive on the back, layer this piece on dark blue cardstock, and I did cut that layer a little bit smaller than what's indicated on the card sketch. It's 4 1/8 of an inch by 5 3/8 of an inch. That way when I add the card front onto the card base, you'll see that 1/8 of an inch white border of the card base. If you prefer not to have that white border, I would suggest cutting the background piece to a full A2 size. Whenever I adhere the card front onto a card base, I do it upside down. I like to start with the folded edge of the card base. That way if I need to trim off a little bit extra, I'm cutting off the open end of the card base. For this card, I'm using one of the floral bouquets, and it fits perfectly inside a stitch circle die cut. I did cut my circle a little bit larger than the 2-inch circle indicated on the sketch. My circle is 2.5 inches in diameter. I needed it large enough to fit this lovely floral image. I'll put glue on the back of the circle and adhere it on the left side of the card. One of my favorite parts of this sketch are the 3 banners in the upper right-hand corner. I decided to use cardstock for all 3 banners. The longest banner on the right, I used sort of a dusty rose cardstock. The banner on the left, I'm using the same dark blue cardstock, although when adhering it down, I'm showing the smooth side. For the background layer, I use the linen texture side of that blue cardstock. And then the smallest banner, this is a lighter blue cardstock. First, I'll cut a fishtail on the bottom. And if you're not good at cutting fishtails, there are lots of great banner die sets out there. Once I've cut all 3 fishtails, I'll adhere the dusty rose banner down first, leaving it about 1/8 of an inch from the edge of that background pattern paper. Now I'll add the dark blue. It's a little less than 1/8 of an inch between the two. And then finally, the light blue will go on top. And I'm making sure the top edge of all 3 banners line up with the top edge of the background pattern paper. For a sentiment, I've already stamped and cut this out. Decided to go with thank you. And I cut it out using the smallest stitched rectangle die that's on Love from Lizi's stitched rectangle die set. I'll put glue on the back, adhere it in the lower right-hand corner. For embellishments, I'm using more of the mini circle peel-offs in white, and I'll add them in the same location as indicated on the card sketch. 2 above the image on the left side and 1 on the right side of the image. So there is my finished card, and this time I made 4 using this design. And each card features a different floral bouquet image. This set of cards is probably my favorite, but I also really like card design number 1. Now moving on to card design number 3. This sketch is from Cards TV. It's sketch number 75. I'm using 2 different pattern papers for the background. The blue polka dot will go on the left, and then the dusty rose tone on tone will go on the right. I'm adding both of these pieces on some white cardstock. I don't have any adhesive on the blue polka dot. I'm just laying that on the white cardstock panel. It'll help get the position of both pieces nice and straight. I want an even white border all around those 2 pieces. For a little bit of separation and shine between the 2 pattern papers, I'm adding a Love from Lizi peel off. This is the pinstripe style in silver, and I'm using the narrowest width. Since I'll be covering up the very center, I was able to use some of the small scrap pieces. I'll put ATG tape on the back, layer this piece on dark blue cardstock, and that cardstock piece is A2 size. Add more adhesive and put my card front onto a card base. With the larger image on this sketch, I knew it would be perfect for featuring some of the longer, large bouquet images on the washi tape roll. I did end up cutting the image panel a different size than what's indicated on the sketch. My piece is 3 7/8 of an inch by 2 3/8 of an inch. And it's the perfect size for this beautiful floral image. So very carefully, I'll peel it off the backing and then place it on white cardstock. Now you can put the images on any colored cardstock or pattern paper, but I think the color is more vibrant if you put it on white cardstock, plus it almost blends into the paper. Next, I'll layer the image panel on dark blue cardstock, and that cardstock layer is 4 1/4 of an inch by 2 5/8 of an inch. And if I was adding any foam dimension, I would pop up this image panel. But as I mentioned earlier, I'm keeping the entire set of cards in this video fairly flat. So I'll put adhesive on the back, add the image panel on the center of the card. For a sentiment, I decided to go with "You Are Loved." I stamped it on a stitched sentiment banner, and this die is from Gina Design's Master Layout Set number 2. There are 2 different banner sentiments on that set, and they both work beautifully with the sentiments on my Kristie's Everyday Greetings stamp set. To adhere the sentiment, I did put some clear double-sided adhesive tape on the back, and I added it in the lower right-hand corner of the image panel. For embellishments, I'm using more Love from Lizi peel-offs, the mini circles in silver. I'll put 2 in the upper left-hand corner of the image panel and 3 around the sentiment. So there is my finished card, and this time I made 3 using this design. And each card features a different floral image. There's a really nice variety of images on the Frosty Rose washi tape set. Now moving on to my final card design number 4. The sketch is from Cards TV. It's sketch number 2. This is a fun sketch for featuring 4 different pattern papers. It has an image panel and an area for a sentiment. You could also use just 1 or 2 different pattern papers. I decided to go with 4. I'm adding all 4 pieces on some white cardstock, and that white cardstock piece is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. I'm starting with the 2 bottom larger pieces, trying to make sure to get that nice even white border around the 4 pieces and in between. Now, since we will be adding an image in the upper left-hand corner, if I don't get those 4 corners all lined up perfectly, it's fine. That area will be covered up. I'm focusing more on the outside edge of the pattern paper pieces. So once I have all 4 pieces down, I'll layer this piece on dark blue cardstock, And that blue cardstock layer is A2 size. I'll flip over this panel, put ATG tape on the back, and add my card front onto a card base. The card sketch does have a square for the image panel, but I am changing that to a circle. I'll be adding a 2.5 inch white circle and then a blue layer that's about 2 3/4 of an inch. Inside the white circle, I'm adding one of the floral wreaths. Very carefully try to get that on nice and centered. Depending on what kind of paper or cardstock you're using, sometimes you are able to peel up the washi tape, but I try to make sure just to get it on correctly the first time. Once that's down, I'll put glue on the back of the white circle and adhere it on the blue circle layer. And the stitch circle dies I'm using are from Love from Lizi. It includes a great variety of sizes, perfect for layering. I'll put glue on the back and add the image in the upper left-hand corner. And I was trying to decide which area of this image is up. For a sentiment, I selected You're Awesome. And I stamped it on the larger sentiment banner that's in the Gina K Designs Master Layout Set number 2. I am layering it on some dark blue cardstock, and I cut it a little bit longer on the right and left side. That way I have enough area to cut that layered fishtail. I'll grab a pair of scissors to cut that layered side, starting on the right side, then I'll flip it around and do the left side. Now I'll put glue on the back and add the sentiment underneath the image at the bottom of the card. Now on the card sketch, it has a rectangle area for that sentiment piece, but I like the look of the banner. For embellishments, I'm using more Love from Lizi peel-offs, the mini circle style in silver. I'll add 3 in the upper right-hand corner, 1 of each size, and 2 underneath the sentiment in the lower left-hand corner, 1 medium and 1 small. So there is my finished card, and this time I made 4 using this design. There are only 2 floral wreath images on the set, so I did use 2 of each of those images. Now here's another look at the 16 cards I made using my new stamp set called Kristie's Everyday Greetings. This set is only available in Not Too Shabby's Autumn Greetings Retreat Kit. I also use the Washi Tape Shop's Frosty Rose Washi Tape. I love the colors and beautiful floral images on this washi tape roll. If you are interested in any of the products I used in this video, I do have links in the description box below. And if you are shopping at either Not Too Shabby or the Washi Tape Shop, don't forget to use my discount codes, and those are in the description box. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.